Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Hello, welcome, Happy New Year to Let's Get Uncomfortable with attorney Aaron McLeod and Miss Wende Williams, attorney Wende Williams. We're so thankful for the opportunity to be back here on this wonderful platform for the new year of full possibility. A new year for us to go and endeavor to do something more special. And I am elated to be here with my dear friend, one of my best friends in this world. Yes, I'm Reverend Attorney Aaron J. McLeod, but my attorney is attorney Wende Williams. Happy New Year, my dear sister.
How are you? I'm just elated. Couldn't be happier. And I would say, like someone once said, I'm doing excellent.
Wonderful, wonderful. We thank God for another year. We thank the ancestors for smiling on us and guiding us. We're thankful for the good karma, for the good that we've done and the good that we've received. But more specifically, we're thankful for the grace and the mercy that we were not held responsible for our imperfections, but we are still here. Ready with a heart and a mind to serve, ready with a heart and a mind to critique, ready with a heart and a mind to think our way through, persevere our way to the next destination of our lives. So, year in review.
Yes.
We ended 2025 with a provocative conversation that we wanted to kick the year off with. A brilliant woman. Sometimes people give me gas, if you will. So you hype people up, or you're so quick to talk about who's awesome. Or I remember my friends when I was in graduate school would say that I was enamored. I just respect people's humanity, and if you do something that I appreciate, that I like, I believe in giving you your flowers. Do you see anything the matter with that, Mr. Attorney?
Not at all. Plus, just you saying how appreciative you are just made me feel good, and that's probably what everyone else feels when you say something like that. A compliment, flattery, whatever you want to call it feels good. In fact, recently someone sent me a text that said to have a hug for 20 seconds can make a difference in your life. And I've hugged a lot of people in the courtroom who have done a lot of bad things, and they put their head on my shoulder. They become something that the paperwork doesn't describe. And that's an important thing to know, that underneath all of this that's going on in your life is a real wonderful person. And so when you say those things, you reach that core within a person that they're wonderful. You were born wonderful, despite what has often been said about your humanity or your wonderfulness or you're amazing. It is. And even words, don't you feel something special when you hear those words? Amazing, you're wonderful. I end a lot of conversations with customer service people with, hey, thank you so much, I appreciate you, and you're wonderful, and don't ever change. And they just, you can hear them blushing over the phone. And I said, I don't know what your next phone call is going to be like, but this is one of the things I just really want to say to people. And another thing I like to say to people is at the end of a conversation is, may all your dreams come true. And I've just seen some of the most hardcore people just light up like as if they don't deserve it. And we talked a little bit about that last week in our topic, Are We Better Together? And one of the things that we raised was the gentleman who talked about the differences in the African diaspora people, the different people of color, Africans at that from different countries. And the most distinguishing thing he said, and it was heartfelt, is that self-esteem. Self-esteem gives you yourself, a high self-esteem gives you yourself a feeling of worthiness that you don't see every day. I mean, it's no telling what I might be doing. I might be at a stop sign or something, and somebody behind me is, giving me the finger or trying to cut me off. And I just say, oh, Lord, go ahead on. Go ahead on, please. I don't want to be entangled with that person because that person is on another plane and I'm not there. I like me. So if you need to go ahead of me, don't crash. Just go around me and keep going. And so to say and compliment people, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So one by the name of Cody Sanchez talked about partnership, and there's another thought leader brother who's an accountant who is scaling on social media. He said that when he and his wife first got together, that they had to understand the difference between a wife and a partner, a wife and a partner. He said, a partner is a person who goes along with the plan to achieve a certain goals and milestones in the life versus having a spouse and either a wife or husband playing the husband's role or the wife role without being deliberately informed and participatory about being a partner is just different. And so going into the new year, we wanted to flush out who is worthy of being in partnership intimately, more specifically, platonically. We find that people need to have balance in their relationships, their intimate relationships with the partners who they have in what we call holy matrimony or in a civil union. But you don't want to smother that person. And so within that reality, you should, or it may be nice to have other associates. I think it's necessary. But just because it's good to have other associates, you just don't need to have associates or be around people for being around them's sake, if you will, for partnership's sake. We can be thoughtful about who we spend our time with and having some criteria about who we let into our personal space, who we give our time to. I can miss $1 today, but I can make 2 tomorrow. I don't really worry about money that way, but my time I can't get back. So that's what we want to unpack today. Who should be in, who should be out. And when we have these criteria about who's in or who's out, what should that criteria be? And as we start off the new year, we think that this is a meaningful set of questions because you can go out and meet a new person or reconnect with an old person and being close to them, being in proximity to them can really set you off or send you on a bad path. Or it could send you in a direction that you never thought that is overwhelmingly positive for you. So that's what we want to weigh in now on today's segment of Let's Get Uncomfortable. Just a continuation, a meaningful continuation as we kick off the year. Who deserves to be in and who deserves to be out? What do you think about that, Mr. Attorney?
Well, I mean, it's necessary. Are we better together? This society and its practices sees marriage until death do you part. And all the other vows that you take. It's not just one vow, it's a lot of vows, and you want to get it in. Because as we know, lawyers, we know as lawyers that marriage is an estate. And so that means it has financial aspects of it, has emotional aspects to it, it has sexual aspects to it, physical aspects to it, intelligence, if you will. But I am in favor of not burdening your spouse with things that they may not be good at, or that you may not want to burden them with because you really like the other aspects of their personality. For instance, I'm a very active woman. So I really like relationships, my intimate relationships, to include, I don't know, dancing, roller skating, going to the health club, lifting weights, plays, movies, walks in the park, golf lessons mainly, and things of that nature. And I don't want to burden them with today, the judge and I got into it, or today the opposing counsel. To me, there's no need for me to discuss that with them. I left all that at work. I want to know, where are we going for dinner tonight, or what do you want me to stop and pick up? I mean, I can switch that off and compartmentalize it. And I think that's the word that you may want to use. Some things have to be compartmentalized, and they should not be, on the relationship, period. For me, on that relationship. Now, your business partners like you and I are, hey, I'm taking the tough phone calls, I got this crazy client, or I got a situation. I can take that, but I don't know if I necessarily, unless you're married to a lawyer or a doctor or airline pilot, those individuals, or bankers, they can add that to their intimate relationship. But if you have a partner that's all the way over here on something else, different from what you're, practicing or working at on a daily basis, I think we should always make sure we find time to get that exclusiveness, exclusive relationship, physically, sexually, intimately, romantically, um, personally. That's that. My crazy stuff, I put that on a therapist. I go to her or him and I say all the crazy things, and they give me back all the good feedback. Once I told you, Rev, it's hard having girlfriends who are clinical doctors in the area of medicine and psychology, because they told me, I'm not your therapist. I'll get right to it. You're crazy. I'm just giving you that as an example. Not that that's what they say, but they always can get me right to it. And I'm at the stage of my life where I'm accepting advice. I don't care who it comes from. I will accept it. I may not act on it, but I always appreciate the advice. So it depends on who we're in a relationship with, what is the situation, and how much can that person withstand. And there's some things I don't want to lose. What about that little boy in the movie, The Sixth Sense? Remember, he could see dead people,
Mm-hmm.
but he never told his mother because he didn't want his mother to look at him that way. Remember? I never forgot that in that movie. I thought that was a very interesting moment in that storyline. I don't want my mother to look at me like that. So he never told her until, towards the end.
All right. So we're coming up on our first break here
Yeah.
on our show, Let's Get Uncomfortable. Happy New Year to everyone.
Yes.
And when we come back, as much as the last time we were on here, we went and broke down the 4 different types of relationships: intimate, personal, professional, familial, or platonic. And we went through different iterations, but we're going to focus on what it takes to be a good partner. And Mr. Attorney unraveled some of that. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And if you're there in the chat on Facebook, chime in. Let us know what you think it takes to be a good partner. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Master Force with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page. As we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force, our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
All right, we are back here on Let's Get Uncomfortable with Reverend Attorney and Miss Attorney, Reverend Attorney Aaron J. McLeod and Miss Attorney Wende Williams. Uh, Miss Attorney, I was on social media today, and it was most provocative to hear a pastor talk about this notion of understanding sexual compatibility amongst mates, not during marriage, but pre-marriage, right? And I don't want to go down that tangent just yet, but more specifically, what I gleaned from this conversation from this very thoughtful, articulate African American man who is in a relationship with his wife, who he fully embraces her dynamic nature, her um, sensibilities. He's in love with her. And she doesn't fit into this role of being, a pristine preacher's wife. She loves God, but more specifically, she's comfortable within her skin. But one thing that he brought out in this pericope or in this session that I saw was that relationships take work. And as much as we're looking at the other person, a lot of times we forget what it takes to be a good partner. And you were hitting on that on our last portion of this broadcast today, which is taking place on Wednesday, January 7th, the seventh day of the new year. And with that, let's continue to unpack those things that we should be trying to push out to get that good energy back based off of how we read the cues of others. And, as much as I went into the beginning of the segment talking about, sex and relationships, that's not what I'm trying to get at. Not that I have any issue talking about that, but the compassion, the concern of being thoughtful about other people who we are in partnership with. What are your thoughts, Mr. Attorney?
Well, see, this all goes back to the selection process
Mhm.
where I'm concerned, and my four, and then now these situations arise. So the four that I often talk about, what if that's not the issue? What if criminality is not an issue? What if mental health issues are not there that can't be ignored? What are some of the addictions that are there that can't be ignored that could play a part in dissolving the marriage or the relationship of any kind? And then the fourth one is violence. So these are the four. This is the base level, base. But there's a level above that. But often I find people have not properly invested in the time to deal with your partner's issue on those four levels, on those four different levels. So now, or I should say four different categories. So the next level after that is the physical level. I'm sorry to say, it may only represent 10% of the relationship, and the other 90 is really critical, but that 10% is like a pebble in your shoe. So I'm going to just call it intimacy, romance, that kind of thing. It's kind of critical, but everybody doesn't need that. The person's background, me, how did you grow up with mom and dad? What did you see? What was modeled for you? A famous psychologist used to ask that question all the time, Dr. John Bradshaw, who wrote Healing the Shame and Healing the Shame with You. And what's the other book? Oh, Healing Homecoming, Healing Your Wounded Inner Child. You got to make sure you're not taking wounds into the relationship with an expectation that your partner is supposed to address your wounds. I think the wounds preceding the marriage should be dealt with in a clinical, professional environment, because most people don't understand that. But you got people who understand roller skating and dancing and swimming and boxing matches and plays and those things. But then what happens when that's not there anymore and you're looking at someone across the table and you find out you don't even watch the same TV shows? You don't even like the same things in the world of art. Is it enough to be a deal breaker? It could be. But these are the things you want to explore in the first 30 to 90 days. And I think Julia Hare, there was a Dr. Julia Hare and a Dr. Nathaniel Hare. This is like way back when Jet Magazine was sold on the, on the newsstand. Julia Hare made a very interesting observation. She says, if sex gets involved before you clean up the 90% that you need to know about the other person, the relationship will arrest at that level, at that point in time where you had your intimate romantic contacts. And I thought that was a very interesting dynamic. And I started kind of using that and advising people. And of course, we're family law lawyers. So we're reading psych evals, family history reports, and we can see almost where this person could have gone wrong going into the relationship. Sometimes my most handsome of parties in a law case sometimes have the most difficulty. In my head, gee, this guy is gorgeous. I could just stare at him walking across the room just to bring me a cup of coffee or wash the dishes or wait for me to bring him a cup of coffee, whatever the case may be. And he's just so attractive that you actually feel something. You think you feel something. You may actually feel something. So when we start talking about how do you sort through this, because that's what you really want to know. You want to know how do I find out if I am compatible with this person? Now, I have seen compatible problems. Okay. I have seen compatible relationships where people, in the worst case scenario, when I don't know if I want to use that one, but in a case, all of them are bad. Let's see, I can't use that one either. But let's just say compatible problems. Here's one. She doesn't know how to cook, but she's married to a chef. The problem is resolved because he's going to say, I'll cook. And she's going to say, great. She wants to be a homemaker, even though she's an airline pilot. And he wants to be an airline pilot. So great. It's a problem, but they solved it and it was a compare. I've seen far worse, but I just didn't want to use that tonight. I don't want to use those examples. But that's kind of a situation. So once you understand what you can deal with, I tend to have, this is so personal, I tend to have my first fight within 30 to 90 days with a new relationship. It's almost like clockwork sometimes, and the person doesn't know, but I'm waiting on it. And it usually arrives anywhere between 30 and 90 days. And if the longer the relationship goes on, when we hit that glitch, and me knowing what I know now, I'm ready to see, okay, let's see if we can solve this. This is just a little problem here. Let's see if we can solve it. And there are some things about people that aren't resolved, and you have to take them the way you find them. Can you do that?
But how does that play out in platonic relationships?
But the same thing.
You looking for 90 days to have a spat with the friend?
Business partners all the time.
Okay.
that can happen all the time. I can't reveal something I just saw in the courtroom, but a lawyer had to carry the case because their partner was unavailable for some reason or another, you know, and she had to carry that. Um, she didn't seem to mind uh, that she had to catch that, you know, situation and manage it. It happens a lot between lawyers. Someone might be sick. Someone may have taken the file home. It could be any one of those numbers. It might get right up underneath your skin. But you know what? You look at the value. I had to look at the value of the person, you know, and not like we're not going to discuss it, but somehow the business platonic relationship is so fruitful and so valuable and profitable that you do what you can. And we've watched enough television shows for examples of law firms where people have not been able to continue in the law practice together and they have to move on. So you could, you know, the thing about marriage, for instance, versus a platonic relationship is that a platonic relationship sort of
All right. So we were having some discourse with Ms. Attorney about platonic relationships. She's coming right back in here. But we were making the distinction or talking about how natural or how it should not be regarded as a bad thing if you have a spat within the first 90 days of having a friendship. Now, business, friendships that are not intimate. And so we are here on Let's Get Uncomfortable. Let's Get Uncomfortable show. We're going to segue into a break at this time so we can hear from our sponsors.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Welcome back to the Let's Get Uncomfortable show. We're here with myself, Reverend Attorney Aaron J. McLeod, and my co-host, Attorney Wende Williams. She'll be joining us here momentarily. But we're talking about the necessity of relationships, but more specifically, how we come to these relationships and what is required for these relationships, how we should give of ourselves in these partnerships. More specifically, what are some key milestone experiences in these relationships that we should not be running from? And so to that end, Mr. Attorney is coming back on our segment at this time. We thank you all for tuning in as we're unpacking here in the new year, what are the characteristics of being a good partner? Before we talked about what we should be looking for in a partner, but we realized that a lot of these things hinge on how we come to the table into these situations. And so never one-sided, never one-sided. And then that there are some just natural occurrences that happen. I remember a good friend of mine talked to me. He said, you really aren't friends until you had a fight with a friend. You really don't know a person until you've broken bad with them and come back and reconciled. And reconciliation is a part of human existence as we live in concert with others. It is our inclination to have disagreements and fallouts, but we want to fall in because life is short. And, in wisdom literature, be it the Bible, be it the Bhagavad Gita, be it the Quran, we are encouraged to resolve our differences as we are called to live amicably with one another. And so I thought it was interesting in our commentary today. She said within the first 30 to 90 days that we should have a spat, if you will, with a person, not intentionally, but just to see how we handle that disagreement. It is positive. It's interesting, in the workplace, as a person who manages a team, I am thankful that I have the opportunity to lead people. I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to manage a payroll, not that I really want to, but within that, I remember being on somebody else's payroll and the grace at times that I really needed to be in that workspace. And so to that end, we, if I were to crack a whip for every time somebody did something wrong, I wouldn't have a team. But more specifically, even as the executive officer, if they walked out on me every time I was imperfect, we wouldn't last. And so, again, it's a part of it, how we come and how we show ourselves in these relationships become key. They become key. And so she's coming back in here now. Come on back in here, Miss Attorney. Come on back in. Come on back in. I see you. I see you. All right. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. A true friend won't try to leave you, don't want to, no try to. But let me push back on this. Mr. Attorney, you and I have been friends for almost 20 years. Have we ever had a spat? I don't think we have. Why does we about to have a spat tonight. Why do you keep on going out? No, all seriousness. I want my friend back. I want my friend back. I want my friend back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Well, the misnomer is that we have people who navigate situations whereby they are just human, giving grace. And as I get older, I start to understand this whole notion of giving trust and giving grace because, not so much that grass is greener on the other side, but as you spend time with the person and grow with them, you see the metamorphosis, personally and professionally, you want to see them well. You want to see them well. You want to see them well. And with that, when the person does not have the sensibilities to be caring, to be kind, to be conciliatory, it's hard to be in the relationship. I often tell my team here in my practice, don't worry about making mistakes. I just want you to be honest, best you can, about when you need help. Don't worry about being a perfect individual. Don't try to impress me because I'm imperfect. And quite honestly, I'm comfortable with my imperfection. And to that end, we need to ensure that we are being a good partner to our loved ones, our friends, our workmates, that this energy, the give and take of it all, is positive. And so there's an adage, when people show you who they are, believe you. I've also learned that in certain situations, you need people. You need people. And there is a requirement just to have bodies in certain situations, coverage, just so you don't go mad or your operation doesn't go mad. There is a need for people, a need for people. And so to that end, we must show compassion and courage because people have a role to play. People have a role to play. People have a role to play. All right?
It's not me. Is it something I said? Oh,
We had our first fight tonight. We did. We did our first fight tonight. Out of almost 20 years, our first fight tonight. I love you, but I don't like whatever mojo you got going on over there. I don't.
my hands were by my side. The it just took off by them itself. I did get some phone calls, and I think it disrupted the feed.
Okay.
I submit. It's a situation.
So,
I'm so
no
sorry.
worries. It's fine. Let's get back
I
to
mean,
it.
it was a phone. It was two phone calls, one right behind the other.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do this on the laptop. You say 20 years we had our first fight.
The first time. The first time. The first time.
You say I am pissed, but I didn't do anything. It's just
Can we hold each other accountable? Can we hold each other accountable?
my fault.
Do you not have a Let's Get Uncomfortable laptop?
Yes, I do.
Do you not have a Let's Get Uncomfortable desktop?
Yes, I do. No, I
But I'm
don't
gonna
have the desktop would not be a good one, but the laptop would be.
Okay.
All right.
Nonetheless.
I promise it's gonna get fixed because these phone calls are just and these are people I called 3 hours ago. They're just not getting back to me.
But you know what that is a sign of? That's the sign of you being a good partner to them.
And we have our moments. I have had knockdown dragouts with my girlfriends. One, oh God, we didn't speak for 3 or 4 months, and all it was just crazy.
And do you think it's a dynamic between the fact that they're your girlfriends and not your guy friends?
Let's see. Have I had it out with guy friends before? For some reason, I don't have it out with my guy friends. Like you said, this is 20 years. Mm-hmm. It might be something to do with female egos. I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know, we do tend to compete. You know, there's an old saying that women don't dress for men; they dress for their girlfriends. You know,
Mm.
So that's could be part of that too. That competitiveness, even when there's nothing to compete with. Maybe your girlfriend's more attractive than you are. She attracts more friends, and But some people, I wing it. If I've got a girlfriend that looks fabulous, okay, I'm just gonna sit on the wing, and everything she throws to the left or to the right, maybe I can fall back and catch that. If she just bats them off before she says anything to them. I've had girlfriends very attractive, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm usually there for the entertainment that I'm going to get out of that, and that's part of this thing too. With relationships is know thyself, and to thine own self be true. If you're not as attractive as your girlfriend, deal with it. It's not her fault. It's not her fault that she's more successful than you are. It's on you. And sometimes it's the luck of the draw. Maybe that was just not your thing, but it can cause conflict sometimes when people don't go like, wait a minute, she is a lawyer, she does know what she's talking about. I have a tendency to be kind of silent with my girlfriends, especially when it comes to relationships. I just I try to listen until I think it's going to get dangerous for them, and then I may speak up, and then they'll still start shooting at me. And then if it's a group of us, they keep certain information away from me because they know how I am, and I don't mind. I play the big sister role because I'm usually 10 years older than most of my girlfriends. I am 10, maybe 15 years older than most of my girlfriends. So that happens. But I swear to God, I didn't do anything. And I swear, I don't swear. I'm going to promise you, I'm going to get that laptop going, and I'm going to leave it right here in my little studio here. And in fact, what I might do is get situated so that this is crazy, but I'll make it work.
So let's go back to something that you said.
Yeah, let's go back.
You said that most of your girlfriends, are 10 years younger than you.
15.
I'm not going to tell my age because, you look much younger than I.
So you say I got teenagers for girlfriends? No.
I tell you. No, but my point in saying that, and I'm happy to be my age. Preferably, I have a birthday next week.
Hey!
But should we take in consideration biostatistics like age when looking to be in partnership or in concert with somebody, like business partner? I find now that historically I've always been the younger person in the room, but now majority of my team, well, actually it's a mix, but I get a lot of energy from the young people who work with me. If not just comedy, and just to look and be like, I used to be that age. But technology, they far surpass me. Energy, should we be taking those practical things into consideration when assessing who we want to be around?
Why not? Why not be around someone, especially if this is honest? There's an old movie out called All About Eve. And Eve did some wicked things to get in position. And in the process, she hurt people, And this is a movie starring Betty Davis and Anne Bancroft, I think. But she did things, the Eve character did things to hurt other people in order to get ahead. And it's a lesson in that kind of situation. It's a real nice lesson for the things you want to avoid. Now, I don't think our relationship started sort of like a mentor-mentee. And I had no problems. I mean, I had to get up a little earlier and I had to travel a little further, but I didn't mind doing that because I saw that you were at risk. And so I didn't want that to happen to you because, like you say, you see your younger proteges,
And
and
you blessed me that day. Oh, thank God for your mother
I
sending you
know,
down there
I know.
to the
But
legal court.
I came from a law practice where these kinds of things were done for me. See, all I did was pass along to you what was done for me. And it just seemed like the natural thing to do. Now, am I good with that all the time? Oh, no, I get some complaints. You weren't there for me, that kind of thing. Sometimes I can't be. Sometimes I can't undertake a lot. And I have to tell my friends that. Would that disrupt the relationship if someone told me, look, I got this personal problem, I got this family problem, I got my professional issues? I have a tendency to understand that because I represent people who have problems. And so people who have problems have a tendency um, to be kind of needy. So now there's some needs I can't meet. There's some needs you can't meet. And that's why it's important to know yourself and to know what you can give. And at this stage of my life, this mature stage of my life, I'm learning how to put that forward, even if it takes sort of the mystique and seduction off of a intimate relationship. And I'm doing it now the way I would do it for an intimate relationship. I would say, this is all I got. And I'm holding up a little list, so to speak. I said, this is all I got. I don't have anything else. I can't take another phone call. I can't take another client. I can't take I can't do it because I don't have any time for me. And I know I need a lot of time for me. So yeah, I'm not codependent with people to the extent that I can disrupt their lives and they disrupt mine. I have to be in relationship with people who can handle certain things, and these things have happened with me recently. Sadly, I had to kind of just bow out of certain situations. You remember that cartoon, The Simpsons, where the Simpson, he's standing in front of a bush, and as he backs up, he disappears into the bush. Sometimes I have to go out like that. But I'm usually waving and looking at the person, and I'm telling them, I can't. This is as far as I go. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shark Tank. This is as far as I can. I'm out.
All right. We got one last commercial break. Let us see what our sponsors have to say.
Leaders of nonprofits empowering worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
All right, and we're back.
Yeah. We're back to the Jinxie Let's Get Uncomfortable show. Last week it was my brother, the comedian, the cats. And this week it's the gremlins, because I didn't touch a thing and no one was in the room. Well, I did get the 2 phone calls. So now I have the phone on airplane mode, as you suggested before. But you know what? Also, I try not to take some things too seriously, because I just don't need the headache that goes along with that. Too seriously, walking on eggshells. But let's get back to platonic relationships. When you talk about platonic relationships, what are some of the fears and concerns that people have when they have a platonic relationship? I have a tendency to introduce my significant intimate partner to my male friends. And I think you have met, in fact, you've met a couple of my male friends along this 20-year period that we have been friends. Would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my approach has
And some
always
of
been,
them I've liked, and some of them I
I
have
know,
not liked.
I know. That's why I brought it up. We're still here. They're gone.
They are.
hmm But
And
when
vice
I
versa, to be totally truthful, vice versa.
and so it's weird. See, like, you know, I don't know what it is between you and I. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what makes this a friendship. I don't know if you're the little brother I've always wanted, or I'm the big sister that you've always wanted. I don't know what it is, but it works.
It
And
does.
it's perfect from the standpoint that I get you and you get me.
Mm-hmm.
When we first met, oh, and then how we first met. Did we tell it? We told people how we first met. So I think you're the kind of person that does not just give lip service to compliments. You
Mm-hmm.
really are sincere when you compliment. You really take things to heart. And this is why when we first met, I had to stop that situation because that person was using you.
Mm-hmm.
And he was taking advantage. And then I knew on the other side, opposite of you, trying to represent him, were all these alligators. And what ends up happening to some lawyers who can be overzealous, they can miss things. I know I have, and I had to pay dearly for it.
Mm-hmm.
But communication with someone who could help me, like, don't do that, don't do it like that. And it's quite a battlefield to be a lawyer. I mean, you have to get your own back, protect yourself, protect the client. So many things that are going on, and I tell you, some people can't take it, and some people can't take it for long. I mean, it comes to a point where you don't want to do it anymore. And that's how relationships end, right? Partnerships, platonic relationships. It comes to a point where you can't do it anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't really require people to change. I really want you to be yourself. But if I can't be with you while you're with yourself, then I do some other things, like maybe I don't see you that often. Maybe I don't talk to you that often. You know, and I'm not saying everybody gets me. I'm saying that people are like, ugh, here she comes again. Ugh. Sometimes I can hear on the phone with, some customer service representative I may be talking to on a regular basis. You hear the pop in their lip. Uh, but I cannot take myself too seriously. And I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, God bless my mother. She's just so interesting. But I love her for her, as one of my girlfriends called it, her Ruth-isms, because her name is Ruth. And, one day I was on the phone and going back and forth on something. And when I hung up, finally, I was like, I was so exasperated. She said, I don't know why you guys go through all of this. You're going to all end up in the same place. And I said, what place is that? She said, over there in that cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to stop taking yourself so seriously, because we're going to all end up in the same place. The Republicans, the Democrats, the independents. It's a place called a cemetery, and that's where you're going to end up, whether you're in a jar or in a box. You're going to all end up there. So stop taking yourself so seriously. So it allows me to give more than I may be capable of giving at that time, because it's temporary. It doesn't mean so much to me that I've just got to, drive you crazy. I'd rather bow out. That's how I left my marriage. I said, you know what? He told me, you're the reason why I'm using drugs. I said, well, let me help you out here. I'm moving because I don't want you to continue to use drugs. And that's real talk. And that's how that marriage ended. And he never stopped using drugs.
Mm.
Brilliant.
Uncomfortable.
That these subjects are uncomfortable. And that's the name of the show, people. The Let's Get Uncomfortable show. And we're going to introduce here shortly, with the time we got left. Can I share with them our new feature that we're going to add to
yes,
the show?
yes.
I know you were so excited about that. And I think that's what I like about you. For me, you're always excited about my ideas. So anyway, I've been looking for one of those horns that they use in basketball games when it's the end of the end of the quarter. They had that horn sound. Well, I bought one of those for another good friend of mine, male, platonic, my golf instructor, Robert Davis. And he works.
One of the best in the city. He's good.
We're going to have him on the show because he's
you.
Great. So Rob works in a facility where he monitors kids dealing with basketball games and things like that. So I thought it was kind of fun. I think I got it for his birthday. It was one of those blow horns. And he was like, oh, this is so cool. And so I gave away the last one. I thought I had to. So I'm looking for that so we don't have to use 2-minute warning. And what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, that's listening, those 2-minute warnings will be about something that's going on in terms of current events. Because if you notice this show, we don't really talk about politics or current events. But I thought it might be nice, right, Rev, that we include just a 2-minute warning to keep us kind of relevant. Like the America, for instance, America invaded Venezuela to grab the president off of a military base in Venezuela. I could talk another half hour about that. But the question will be during the 2-minute warning, has this happened in America before? And we'll do a historical comparison and contrast. Not so much why and should we have, but just that it has happened before. And America has always had a dark side, in my opinion, of kind of an imperialistic streak. And so even though we put ourselves forward all the time, and why not, that we are here to help and so on and so forth. But I just noticed, where was the United Nations when America went into Venezuela? Don't we usually kind of get some, I don't know, collective understanding about why we're in Venezuela? And can we go and get a president of another country on what type of indictment? I mean, who were the witnesses? What was going on? And I don't doubt that there is some rationale reasoning for it. I'm just wondering, what is it? So that's the 2-minute warning, I guess, for this show, and an example of the kind of things we'll be talking about. More questions to get you to think and to get you to be uncomfortable.
Yes, I appreciate that. What people don't know is that we have a not only legal practitioner par excellence extraordinaire, she's also a walking bibliophile. She is the people's historian.
All the books are right back there, right behind me. My son said, why do you have all these books? I said, well, lawyers can't just go around. Well, we cannot enter a courtroom without being able to substantiate our argument. That's where it comes from.
And you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. When you come to my house, what do you see in my house as well?
Books.
A bunch of books.
Magazines. That I tell you. Do you know, here's one, the few seconds we got left. I usually judge whether I'm going to be in a relationship with someone, you know, depending on what I see in terms of books and magazines. And if I don't see books and magazines, you know, even though I like roller skating and dancing and all that kind of stuff, I would like to see a book or two. You know, it's not necessary, but I don't know if the relationship will be long term. Listen, you and I have been friends 20 years. That I tell you.
Yep. Well, we thank you for joining the Let's Get Uncomfortable show. We appreciate a platform for providing this opportunity for us to come and share. We'll see you in 2 weeks on Let's Get Uncomfortable.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.